and it still doesn't work. It won't let me type. I don't know why. Sometimes it's so maddening, this stuff. So maddening. I can see the chat. I can type it on my laptop, on my streaming machine. It doesn't have the bottom tab to let me type. It's so aggravating. I just don't have the energy. And I don't need streaming tips. It makes no sense. All right, I can't spend time on it now. I just forgot to do it during the day. I'm sorry. And now the chat's completely disappeared. So, okay, I can't chat, folks. No chit chat today. All right, we're going to get set up for the end of the day. We got to get our Thinkorswim going also. Toyota Igo X. I never even heard of that car. That one's a mystery. So let me talk to you for a minute about Qualcomm. Qualcomm is not tradable, in my opinion, um, unless you're willing to take the risk of frozen orders. Um, the orders are unequivocally more than 50% of the time we've had frozen orders on Qualcomm. I did a little bit of research looking at, previous Qualcomm events, and what happens is for about up to 40 seconds at the market close, you can get frozen orders. It takes about 40 seconds, um, 28 seconds on 11/6, 32 seconds in February for the market to unfreeze. So our end of the day, I'm going to set it up, Len. It's a breakout trade. I'll go through all the settings for it. I didn't do it yet. It's going to be a breakout. I just want to get my Thinkorswim loaded. I don't have to set it up yet. So I've been looking at Jeeps with my daughter. We have a Jeep family. When I was a kid, I made up a game called Jeep. And we would just drive in a car. It was a car driving game. Anytime you saw a Jeep, you would just go Jeep, and you would count the number of Jeeps that you had. It was ridiculous. It was fun, and I swear to God, we played it for a whole. We still do it. It's ridiculous. We still do the same stupid things. But both my kids, we're all Jeep fanatics in my family. Wranglers. I just bought one and I hate it. I shouldn't have bought. I should have bought a better one. But if I put like 4 miles on a car in a month, that's a lot. I don't drive. I use my scooter like 90% of the time as long as it's not freezing out. Hang on, my Thinkorswim. Okay, that's why I couldn't log in. Thank you. But my daughter's been looking for a Wrangler. We just can't find something really good that's reasonable because she doesn't drive much more than I do. And I told her, don't buy a manual transmission Wrangler. And she bought a manual transmission Wrangler and sold it. All right, first things first, let's set up our breakout on the MNQ. Now you can trade this on the NQ also. News Trader, it's a breakout trade. I'm going to load my template. And I think we call it, I always forget what we call it, end of day or MNQ end of day. I have both. I think we're calling it MNQ end of day because I don't have an updated, yeah, it's MNQ, so we'll load that one. I've got two different setups. I think they're both the same. So we'll make sure we update to November 5th. Double click it. And we have a breakout 1549.58 on the trigger, 35 bracket, and then choose the number of accounts that you want to, number of contracts that you want to trade. Targets, I'm using targets of 20 and 50. All right. And I'm using a stop of 100. And if it hits my first target, I'll use target one stop move to BE. Oh, that's a nice car. And then we're going to trade this in our market open account. And that account's getting hit today. So I'd like to make some money back on it. Let's check. Let's put it back to sim just for a second. We'll check our bracket by setting the time to 0. So DoorDash and Robinhood, we really haven't looked at them in years. They don't seem to really move the market much. They're both releasing at the same time. And here's what's interesting. I think both of them will be positive. So I'll set up an MNQ trade, I think, at the close after the close. I mean, I'll just maybe just even set up one contract. It's not a question of winning. I don't think, who knows if they're going to trade together again? You don't know, right? So today it's not that meaningful. We don't know if the test we do today has any relationship to what happens next quarter because they don't always trade together. 1549 on our 58 on our breakout, 1549, 58 on the breakout, 35 on the bracket. I usually trade two positions on this with a target of 20 and 50 and a stop of 100. And that's how I'm doing it. It's labeled MNQ end of day. Charts, put them on the account you're trading on. And then, so we're going to be watching Qualcomm, Robinhood, and DoorDash. We'll start with Qualcomm. And then we'll move them. Qualcomm has nice earnings. They move the market, but you can't get your trades. The trades are frozen. So that's the problem. I've got 2 out of the last 4 completely frozen. So I don't recommend trading it. Calvin, what's CL doing? I don't want to change my charts now. What's it doing? This has been a it's been a pretty strange day. The markets have been very strange, I think, for a couple of weeks. Definitely weird. Gold's been weird. Once gold started making all-time highs over and over and over, it got really harder to trade. Definitely. Oil dumped. Now it was going down after we left. It was making that new low finally that I was expecting. Let me go over the end of day setup one more time for everyone. 1549.58 on the trigger. 58, 1549.58 on the trigger, bracket of 35, targets of 20 and 50, stop of 100. If it hits my first target, I will move my stop to break even. What's the price of oil right now? Now, so 1550 is usually a decent setup. Oh, it's below 60 now. Okay. Oil below 60 is bad for the economy, I think. We don't want oil to crash. Oil crashing, anything crashing, it just creates problems. We don't want crashing. You don't want insane bubbles. We're in I think we're in trouble because things are very out of control, it seems. And we just don't know it yet. They got to get the government open. The fact that it's still closed is an insult to all hardworking people, to all normal people. Why is it down? I mean, it's down because is there a worldwide recession coming? Maybe. That's certainly a concern. Tariffs have not been good for anyone, really. Um, Farmers are hurting. People are struggling to get their food. I mean, what are you going to say? 40 seconds. All right, so our brackets will show up. Now, if it follows through, so we'll see if it follows through. Seems to be a little stronger on the sell side, but today has not been a good day for me to have any trade work out. None of my trades have worked out today. Honestly, it's just nothing's worked. So what's working against us on this trade is very large bullish positioning of the MNQ. It's still quite bullish. So I don't know if we're going to get any good movement to the downside to make this trade work. Nope. Nope. I haven't taken one good trade. No, we did take McDonald's was great. We started the day off fantastic with McDonald's and everything, and then I just back into bad trading. Have not traded well all week. All week. And it's just hard to know. Like we've already had our end of the day sell off. The market has sold off a lot. It's hard to keep getting that downward movement. So remember, Qualcomm releases exact like 1 second after 4, almost always. So your orders, when you put them on, they're frozen. It's almost impossible to trade them. Now, DoorDash and Robinhood are going to release at 4:05. So I was thinking maybe we put on a 40 bracket breakout. I think they'll both have good earnings. DoorDash, I think they're making money hand over fist because they're scamming everybody, overcharging for everything. They don't pay the drivers very well. You know the deal. Those companies make lots of profits and they don't share any of it with any of their employees or anything. They don't even consider to have employees because they don't want to pay health insurance, right? So they don't have the expenses that a real company has because they don't pay employees like employees. Everybody's a private contractor now. So I think DoorDash and Robinhood, they're like the darling of brokers because people don't pay attention to the way they behave and what they've done in the past. So I think Robinhood will have good earnings. I think DoorDash will have good earnings. And I think that we will, I'll set up a MNQ trade, maybe two contracts, just to see for fun what happens. Because I don't think it's a repeatable trade. It's not going to repeat next quarter. On the fluke that they both trade the same time, I mean, it's just a fluke. They don't always trade the same time. So I need to set up an extra chart or two, though. I need an extra, a couple of extra. So we have Robinhood, we have Qualcomm. Time frame setup is intraday, and I want to get rid of the volume. All right, we got target one. I'll try to trail a little bit. I'm going to expand my target. Let's see if we get a sell off a little bit. All right, so we got about 30 bucks. I'll take it because it looked like the trade wasn't going to work. All right. I'm perfectly okay. It's micros. I didn't trade it with super big risk. So let me get my equities volume subgraph out of here. And Robinhood. All right, so we have a chart of Robinhood, and we'll look at that. We'll be watching that. We have Qualcomm, and we can put Hood. Qualcomm will leave there, and we don't need to change anything else. I do need one more setup. Yeah, that was tough, and you had to just be patient. Look, if you use that 100 tick stop, now NQ, it might have been tougher because the stop, I think a 50 stop would have survived that, right? I think a 50 survived it. All right, so there's our Robinhood. Qualcomm, you'll see. I'm not even putting orders on for Qualcomm. I don't want to tempt myself to trade it, to be honest. And I'll trade in a different prop account for 405. So Robinhood and DoorDash. I'm going to keep my reversal continuation. I'm going to remove my breakout. Okay. Keep the reversal continuation. And I'll do 40 tick target 75 tick stop. All right. Nothing, not really a big change, just changing the account I'm trading it in. Apply it and okay it. So we have our reverse continuation. All right. Let's put it on the right chart, and it is. And look, it started moving down. I tried to trail and didn't got a little bit too close. Well, Len, how often are they freezing? How often? And when? I mean, if you're talking for a very fast, at a very fast moment, you know, like at an end of day trade, four times. I mean, but when? Is it happening at a very specific time, or is it like when the market wasn't even moving that fast? Are you loading too much data in? Right click the chart, look at data series, make sure you're only loading about 3 days of data so you don't have too many resources. I'm going to set up a breakout for 405. So 1604.58. 1604.58. Assuming these earnings are going to come out on time, I'm going to do a 40 bracket, one target for 20 ticks, a second target for 60 ticks, break even -5 if it hits my first target. I mean, sometimes you're going to get freezing at the open. It's not that there's anything wrong with Ninja, unfortunately. Some people, but I don't get freezing at the open. And if it happens once a week, that's not out of the ordinary. 100 on the stop, all right, on this breakout trade. 1604.58, bracket of 40, 100 on the stop, targets of 20 and 60, and I'll trade it in number 20, breakout MNQ. And now Qualcomm's coming out. So watch. I'm not trying to put an order on because it will be frozen. It will freeze. And I don't want to get stuck in a frozen trade. I don't really want to. So watch. Qualcomm's going to come out in about 5 seconds. You'll see it. The stock will shoot. There they are. They came out. Qualcomm's out. And look, it did not really affect the market. So one of the problems, now it might be going down also. One of the problems with Qualcomm is it's right at the close. So sometimes you're involved in this closing move and Qualcomm comes out and it's just it gets messed up by the close move. So there's not much, there's no trade. It's impossible to trade. But you could see the stock is a whipsaw. So next will be Robinhood. All right, we'll see what Robinhood does. And then, actually, I got Robinhood there. Let's look at Dash here. Since we already have, it's quicker to set up a chart on TradingView. It's easier. And I need to look at one of them here. Let's look at Dash here. I think people are probably more interested in DoorDash than Robinhood. The markets are really selling off. We should have just stayed in, but you just don't know. Sometimes you get a follow through and it just keeps going one way. And sometimes at 1550, the direction totally changes. These are things you just don't have a real way of knowing. You just do the best you can to try and stay in a trade. And then we're looking at DoorDash, Robinhood. So we have Dash, Hood, and a backup on Hood. I've got news on Dash and I need news on Door so we know when these earnings are coming out. All right, so we're set. If we leave everything alone, we'll have a breakout on the MNQ. Don't apologize. Now you should be able to put orders on without them freezing. It's like if I put a sell on way up top, see, I can move the order, it's not frozen. So our breakout should work. The breakout should work. I'm going to put the time on 0 for a second. Hey, so make sure everybody come to the webinar Friday. I hope I'm going to have even more fantastic information to announce. I'm really excited. I had a really couple of really interesting ideas. It may slow down the software by a week. 1604.58. I hope not. I'm really going to work hard to prioritize the software to get out. My dash is a little bit in the way there. Let's get our hood open. Okay, so now we should see DoorDash over here. We should see Robinhood over here. News, both companies. Is Friday a repeat of Thursday? What does that mean? What do you mean? No. Oh, no, no. I know what you mean. Friday's going to be different. Quite a bit different. Friday's the one you want to go to. Honest. Friday's the one, the better one for us, for regular members, and Thursday's for Ninja, and it's just really new people to get to know who we are. That's what's really good about the Ninja one. But I've done most of the promotion on the Ninja one. I'm only doing one more email on Ninja, and the rest, all the emails will be Friday. Now, I don't know if these earnings, so somebody, that makes no sense, you guys. The earnings, I don't know if they were up or down. Look at DoorDash. Robinhood looks like they were down, but the market went right up. It went right up, and it looks like it hit target one, and then it stopped. So we made a very tiny profit, very tiny profit. But it looks like both earnings are down, and the market's not responding to either one, which is what I thought would happen. There's not really a response. These companies don't move the market. That's all it means. The market just is not moved by these earnings. That's all it is. Because they're both appear to be down. All right. Both stocks are down. I mean, Robinhood's coming back. It's not horribly down, but you're just not really. The move is already done. It's over. Whatever happens now is not based on these earnings. They don't move the market. That's what we know. We know. We saw it. They didn't move. Now, the two together could work together not to move the market. So you can look at them again if you want to. It's not going to hurt, but there just wasn't that great of an opportunity. The better opportunity was the short at 1550 and then 1555. It stayed short. Didn't seem to move at first at 55. It was kind of a whippy candle, and it did go up a little bit also. the candle went both directions because at 55 there's a pretty big up wick, bigger than you think on some of these moves. 30 ticks, we probably would have been okay. So the 1550 trade is done. Um, Generally, I'm not going to trade again now. I'm pretty done for the day. I'm pretty done. All right. Anybody have any questions? Anyone? Don't forget the markets close at 6. Tomorrow morning, another kind of early morning, not crazy but early, but a quick Bank of England trade room, quick Bank of England. So we'll be in the room at 6:45 for a 7 o'clock trade. And then we'll do our normal opens and natural gas tomorrow. That's what we got going tomorrow. I want to thank you all for watching on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. So we had a small winner on the 1550. YouTube, hit the like button on your way out.